Hello, welcome to HCC Coder by Innovi Health. Today we're going to take a quick overview run-through of the site and its primary features. HCC Coder is completely cloud-based. You simply need a subscriber password, which is your email, and the subscriber username, which is your email, and a password which you set, and you will have access to the tool from any workstation you happen to be at that has internet connection. HCC Coder was built to be streamlined for risk adjustment coding, and we'll take a look at a couple different ways that the system is used and how it can be most effective for you. The first thing I'd like to point out is that most of my users like to go right into the index style search. We do have a comprehensive search, which we'll come back to in a moment, but you'll want to start by clicking on the open book, which takes you into the index. Now, I should say that if you know the code, you can simply enter the code in the quick box up here, or in the main search box in the center of the screen. So if you have the code and want to go straight to it, just enter it and get right into the code information page. If you don't know the code and need to use the logic tree to get there, you'll want to go to the index. You can select your data set, and you can also indicate which models you want to show HCC representation for. Let's go ahead and we're going to drive towards E11.22. So I'm going to start by typing diabetes. The system auto-completes for me. It allows me my next selector I'm going to use with, and we're going to go chronic kidney disease. So in 3 quick clicks, we can get to our E11.22. You can see that we have various models selected here. As I deselect all of them, all of my HCC icons go away, yet all of the ICD-10 set is of course still in place. The icons simply show which codes are connected to which ACCs. So when I select CMS 24, my HCC icons come back. If I deselect and go with HHS, again, same result. So the search is driven by ICD-10. The HCC connection is made by the selection here and is represented by the icon. Let's go ahead and go into E11.22. Now we're into the code information page. On the right side, we have the code book view, and you can see that we can scroll up or scroll down and see the codes that are surrounding our code, just like you would in the book. All of these codes are hyperlinked, and you can quickly jump to them if needed. On the left side of the page, we have our code information page. So we've got things like use additional notes, includes, excludes, notes on neoplasms, and common language descriptions. Let me go back to the top of the page. We also have some images. So our parent company is Innovi Health, and another of their companies is Find a Code. So a sister product, Find a Code, is where we borrowed these images from. You can see that we can expand them to full screen. They have the anatomy terms indicated, and they have an asterisk next to those that have direct correlation to ICD-10 terminology. In this case, we have a diabetic table and an endocrine system overview as well. The other thing I want to point out is this basket icon at the top of the page. One of our newer features is called Code Basket, and it lives over to the right side of the screen here. It is exactly what the name implies. It's a basket to drop your codes into as you're working through your process. Later, you can retrieve them and pull them out for a calculator or validator, or even pull them out into a spreadsheet or some other program that you may be working with. They do not have to stay within HCC Coder. You can save different variations of your list, give them different names, bring them back up later. You can import, export, and print to, of course, print out or to PDF. So very handy. The basket has a check mark in it because my E11.22 is already here in the list. Once I click it again, it removes from the list, and now I have a plus sign on my basket. So to add it back into the list, simply click again, and there we go. You can see we also have an X to remove things from the list as well. I'm going to move this back out of the way, and we're going to continue on down the page. As we move down the page, we see we have several sections that expand some additional information for us. Under additional code info, we can find the various HCCs. And if we select the one that is appropriate to our model, in this case, we'll go with version 24, then we can see the RAF scores. We also get to see the trumping logic. To the right side, our codebook view now is a list for all the HCCs in version 24 for CMS. Also, down on the bottom of our page here, we have our crosswalks. We can now see all the diagnosis codes that are directly tied to this HCC 18. So we've come full circle. We started with a code and clicked on the HCC. Now we can go from the HCC back to all the various diagnosis codes that are appropriate, or connected, I guess I should say. Next up, we have official documentation guidelines. So we've pinned the chapters for diabetes right to the page, E8 through E13. And we also have the option to click the button here and open a new tab with the entire CMS guideline. So now we have the current version, prior versions, and the up and coming version for 2023 all available to you. Of course, you can expand this in size and use a Control F or Control Find to look for your code or keyword or search term that you're trying to find additional guidance on. As we go back to our page here, we have our reverse index entries, our reverse index lookup. These are codes that are very closely related to our code, just kind of listed out in in an alphabetical order. We have the code history, that's fairly straightforward. Next up is My Notes. This has been a user favorite. We have two different sections of notes. So we have the admin notes, which can be seen by the entire team. And then we have the individual notes. So if you're an admin note sharer and your notes are seen by the whole team, you still have the ability to have your own notes section that only you see. Of course, you can create search words, key search words as well. Search keywords, however that goes. So very useful to perhaps share policies that can go across the team or procedures or things that you just want everybody to remember. I'd also like to point out that you can check the auto open box here so that if I refresh my page, when I come back down, it's expanded. That way, if there are notes there, we'll be sure to see them right away. Next up, we have articles and newsletters with the AHA Coding Clinic Incorporated. Here we see that we have 4 articles that are directly connected to our E11.22. If we go ahead and click on one, it opens a new tab and we're brought into the article itself. This is just a quick question and answer. And we've even given you the option to jump to the highlighted term. When you have these longer articles, this can be very helpful. We can go previous or next and see the other articles in that same issue. Or we can go into the AHA archive. So we could hit the breadcrumb here, AHA Coding Clinic, or go info, AHA Coding Clinic. Now we have the ability to search throughout the entire archive. We have all the way back to 2014. So if we enter no keyword and we just want to see issue 2, the latest issue, we just click on it and now we can, air quote, read the issue. So we can go from article to article, or we can be selective and look at the titles to see which ones we want to review. I can go in and put a search term in. We'll go with diabetes again. Now this particular issue had no articles on diabetes. But if I open it up to all the issues in the archive, now we find 56 matches. They are currently sorted by relevance, meaning we don't have the newest one on the top of the list, but we had the one that had the most relevant connections. I can toggle over to date, and now the most recent one, which was issue 1 from 2022, is on the top of the list. So we can add additional search terms, do a plus sign, and then do CKD, and we go from 56 articles to 7 articles. So you can still use your search logic. You can choose to peruse through various issues. You can sort by date or relevance. Now I'm going to hover over the home key, and that's going to give me my the home button. That's going to give me my last 10 codes, last 10 searches, and last 10 pages. So I can quickly get back to my E11.22, scroll on down the page. Now we have some things indicated on my screen that are part of the CPT add-on. We do have the ability to add the CPT codes and the features that go with it, in case that is part of your additional workflow. Next up is the Wolters Kluwer Drug Dictionary. Here we have a connection of all the drugs that are closely related or tied to our diabetes code. So if I click on one, it opens up and expands. I can expand each tab to find the information. We have things like the prescription availability, the GPI, meaning getting tongue-tied, generic product identifier, which is a Wolters Kluwer tool, and we can see the hierarchy there of how they built that. Under indications and diseases, we can find out what the FDA situation is for this particular drug. We also have information on pricing, broken down wholesale acquisition cost and average wholesale price, broken down by NDC, and then we have some packaging information as well. All of this is part of the Wolters Kluwer drug data, and that is an upgrade or add-on from the base plan. So if that is interesting to you, then you'll want to make sure that you get the appropriate plan to see those resources. We do have Medicare policies and guidelines for the NCDs, LCDs, and articles. And those are the same type of system where you expand the tab. And then you can choose your article, and it opens in either a new tab or the same tab. And now you just expand each section to find the information that was contained therein. All right, let's get back into our main page here. So next up, and one of the final things I want to show you is the HCC risk score calculator. We go to Tools, we go to Risk Score Calculator, and now we have the ability to choose our model again. And now we get to enter our diagnosis codes. We can affect the gender and the age and some of the other qualifications here. We're going to leave those defaulted for the moment. So I can come in and enter diagnosis codes and add more spaces as needed. I can also come to my code basket, select all, including these 2 CPT codes, drag them over and drop them. The system will now ignore the 2 CPT codes. It knows they don't go there, and will give me indications for the diagnosis code as to what the HCC was, or none if there was none available. And this is just a random set of codes. This is not an accurate chart here. I'm going to make it a little more diverse by adding E11.9. Now I have a 17, an 18, and a 19. Those are the 3 HCCs from the diabetes category. When I calculate, the system does the trumping logic and says 17 was better than 18, 17 was better than 19. So it gave me the score for risk factor 17, for HC17. We also have the condition interactions with the subtotal. Then we have the normalization and the pattern adjustment to affect the score as well. So you can print this or save it as a PDF and then run it again with a different scenario to show the value of capturing all the correct codes. And of course, as we noted before, you can select which model is appropriate for your particular need. That is the majority of HCC Coder in a nutshell. There are a few convenience features here. We do have a date selector. You can drop the date back to prior book years or set a specific date going way back. Once you do, the CMS models, the options, the codes, etc., will all be adjusted to reflect the appropriate date that you've selected. If you do change the date, which I'll do right now, the system resets and gives you a little caution flag to tell you you're not on today's date. It will stay set on that date forever until you change it to something else, even if you log out and log back in. So be sure to come back to today's date when you're ready for that to happen. Our large A, small a is our abbreviations and acronyms database. We've scraped this together over the years from various sources. It does have medical and non-medical terms in it. So if I put in CC, I'll get everything from carbon copy to chief complaint, which is probably what we were really looking for. Let's see, we have the ability to set locations, which is less important in risk adjustment, perhaps more desired if needed for CPT add-ons. And really that is the majority of HCC in a nutshell. Oh, I promised we'd go into the comprehensive search. Let's take a quick look at the difference here. So if I type diabetes in my comprehensive search, I can now select which data sets I want to include. I can double click on ICD-10 to remove everything else. And I can continue to add search terms. So I can do plus, type 2, and search again. And I get a different list. I can now add, let's see, plus CKD and search again. And my E11 starts moving closer and closer to the top of the page. If you like the index search, or you will like the index search, if you're familiar with the CMS logic tree and their wording and which words move you forward in your path. If you're struggling with that and not finding the right connection in that system, the comprehensive search is a great way to overcome that. As you can see, we can choose to only show diagnosis codes that are connected with HCCs and then select our model and our list repopulates. So a couple different ways to accomplish searching. Most of my people like to go to Clickadex or index search. I hope this has been helpful. It's been kind of a quick overview. We obviously haven't covered everything in the system, but just wanted to get you familiar with the navigation and be comfortable with that. Feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to schedule an individual demo or a trial for a team or new team members, and we will be happy to accommodate that. Thanks for spending a few minutes and enjoy HCC Coder.